Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, wasn't I covering Valery Zaluzhny, the general the Ukrainian general? Ukrainian, that's one of the few Ukrainians in positions of power in Ukraine. You don't believe me? I will explain. But nevertheless, yesterday I covered, and I think a few days ago, where is Valery Zaluzhny, the general who was dismissed by his adversary, Mr. Zelensky Stein, and sent supposedly to London as the ambassador, the Ukraine ambassador to, or Ukraine's ambassador to Great Britain. Guess what? He's alive supposedly, and yesterday I covered that, and I have an update on what's going on with Valery Zaluzhny. And finish this little thing with Valery Zaluzhny. In charge of Ukraine is a Zelensky Stein, right? Is it Zhmyhal Stein? It is, what's his name, the Tatar Umerov, the defense minister. Then is another Zelensky Stein, Yermak. And then you got whom? The Russian Sirsky, that's the commander-in-chief. So where are the Ukrainians? Podolyak is put to the side, which is Podolyak being the foreign minister of Ukraine, pushed to the side by Yermak, who's the chief of staff of the president of the Ukrainian people, right? And where is Budanov? I haven't heard from Budanov from some time. I'm pretty sure he's over there with his Stalin kind of arm. If you don't know what I mean, look at his pictures and look at Stalin's pictures. They all are, I would say, crippled with one hand arm, but look into it. Now, that's one. Valery Zaluzhny is there. The second one, the Russians report destroying dozens of Ukrainian drones, and I will tell you exactly how many overnight. Massive Ukrainian drone attack on Russia, and they destroy, I will tell you exactly how many. That's a great number, great as big number. And another article is the Ukrainians destroy or attack a Russian powder plant. And I don't know what kind of powder, okay? I'm guessing that kind of powder. That's another one. It's a successful attack. What's going on here? Cock-a-doodle-doo. And we're going to discuss that one. And the next one, we're going to discuss how efficient the Ukrainians claim the Patriot systems, the US-made Patriot systems, are against the Russians' so-called hypersonic Kinzhal dagger missiles. You would not believe their perfect score. Why? Because this war in Ukraine is conducted by other interests than nations. And those interests are advertising through war. And when you advertise and then you rebuild by lending money. So you got that, and then you impose sanctions on yourselves, so you have other interests come over on your market and sell you that kind of goods on your market 4 or 3 to 4 times at a premium price. So you got that: banks, military-industrial complex, and energy industry. All right, let's start with the beginning. And the beginning is Sputnik. 2 hours ago, today on the 5th of July 2024. Russian air defense is down 50 Ukrainian drones overnight, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense. Is it possible? As I always work with possibilities and probabilities. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? Let's read this article coming from the Russians. Russia's air defense is destroyed and suppressed, I believe more into suppressing than destroying, 50 Ukrainian drones, not 51, not 49, 50. Ukrainian drones over the 3 Russian regions overnight, the Minister of Defense said in a statement, and I'm quoting, during the past night, when the Kiev regime attempted to carry out terrorist attacks using aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles on the territory of the Russian Federation, air defense systems on duty destroyed 14 UAVs over the Krasnodar territory, 26 UAVs over the Zaporozhye region, and also destroyed and suppressed 10 UAVs over the Rostov region, the ministry said. Well, it's always good to make the population feel safe. The key word is make it feel safe. All right, but hey, some people need that kind of support because on their own they will not be able to do anything but, I don't know, stay in the basement, sleep, get the boosters, drive with the masks on and all that, those kind of people. Hey, but they vote and they know better than you about everything. So, Ukrinform. This article comes again from today, the 5th of July 2024. Yasov on attack on Tambov powder plant. So Yasov is one spokesperson for the Ukrainians and is a representative of the main intelligence directorate. It's not Budanov, it's another guy. He's a spokesperson. It's okay, or a spokesman. He looks a man to me. Yasov, so Yusov, Tambov powder plant. The destruction of military facilities on the territory of Russia is a direct consequence of a genocidal war waged by the Russian Federation against Ukraine, says this guy. But this war could have been easily avoided. Someone else that I mentioned before did not want that avoided. Therefore, we have this one. And obviously the Russians, just attacked like bad that they are. Andriy Yusov, a representative of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense, said this on air of the United News telethon, commenting on the attack of the Tambov powder plant, a Ukrinform correspondent reports. Military facilities, military enterprises of the aggressor state, something happens to them, especially when it comes to a gunpowder factory, dangerous production. Everything that is used by the enemy in the genocidal war against Ukraine is naturally subject to such a certain influence. We do not have to comment on this and will not confirm or deny. Ooh, please. This is the direct responsibility of the aggressor country, the Putin regime. By the way, he was voted in the office. How about your boss? For the war against Ukraine, and it will definitely be continued. And quote, Yusov said, good for you. As reported, a gunpowder plant in the city of Kotovsk, Tambov region, was hit by an operation of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine on the morning of July 4th. The Tambov powder plant is one of the largest enterprises in Russia that produces ammunition and gunpowder. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, it's not a full-scale invasion. When you're going to see 30 million Ruskies coming, attacking, then, and when you see them attacking with nuclear weapons, then it's going to be a full-scale invasion. Until then, what you got right now, I think is between, let's say, about 6% of Russia's potential power to conduct a full-scale invasion. If you think that Russia cannot go further and cannot fuck these guys up, talk about NATO. About NATO and Ukraine. NATO could defend itself. I'm certain of that. But the problem is, this is a controlled war, not a full scale. It's not like that. The Russians have a potential, as I said, of many other things that they don't use yet. And they have nuclear submarines, and they have many other things around the world that they don't use. Why? So don't give me that shit. It was increased production by a third. Russia increased. The company has been under sanctions since March 2023. Now let's talk about Patriot air defense systems. Those American old Patriot systems that, by the way, the great state of Israel, the Jewish state, doesn't want them. They want to get rid of the Patriot systems. They said they don't do the job. They're not good. But somehow, if it's not good, we're going to give it to these guys. It's like, for instance, when you have a car that doesn't work properly, you don't like it, doesn't work as you would like it to work, but say, I'm going to give it to you. No, thank you very much. Don't do this. If you didn't like it, what makes you think that I'm going to like it? Because I have lower standards than you or something? And these are weapons. If you think that this weapon is not good and you give it to someone else, you knowingly give someone that you would not use for your self-defense. Right. So when you hear these guys, we're going to give the F-16s that we're going to decommission, or we're going to give the Marder vehicles decommission, or the French will send those garbage tanks on rubber wheels made in 1958. You give it to the Ukrainians, what is that? You expose the Ukrainian nation to being destroyed just like this. So stop doing this kind of shit. When the Americans said, we're going to send the Abrams tanks to the Ukrainians, but we're going to get important components and software out of it. Well, you took the edge that you think you have over the Russians. So you will expose the Ukrainians to direct hits by drones. $500 drones. And that's exactly what happened. And I can go on and on and on with garbage weapons the West just unloaded on Ukraine so they can replenish their stocks, paying for the military-industrial complex, for the arms industry. You understand the rocket? And those who want to replenish it are the governments. And the governments don't have money because they are in big doo-doo economically. So they borrow the money. From whom? And some print the money. From whom? International banking system. You understand? Capisci? Înțelegeți, mă? Înțelegeți? Now, let's see. The new voice of Ukraine. Patriot air defense thwarts every Kinzhal missile aimed at Kiev since May. May what? 1992? I'm guessing 2024. Yeah. So understand, these guys are perfect, man. So buy it, order the Patriot, and the Raytheon, Boeing, and other garbages will, Lockheed Martin will make a big profit. And how's that? Rheinmetall in Germany will make some profit. The French, I can remember the name of metal something, I can remember, make some profit. Only some, just look, only some companies are allowed to provide these weapons that are advertised. Not all of them. No. You know why? Because they're the best. That's how the story goes. And then they go over there in Israel. Iran sends a few missiles. These guys don't even use the Patriot. They barely hit them as they reported. And they say, well, let's give them to Ukraine. What do you mean you give it to me? Keep it over there. Keep it to your people. Defend your people with that garbage. But hey, the new voice of Ukraine is right there telling us that the Patriot systems thwart every Kinzhal. Is it possible? It's possible. Probable? Niet. But anyway. And I'm quoting, when we work against ballistic threats, it doesn't matter if it's a Kinzhal KH-47M, an Iskander-M, a 48N missile from the S-400 system, or a Zircon. Zircon is also a hypersonic missile from a Bastion complex. Yaremenko explained, and I'm quoting, for us, it's primarily about targeting the ballistic threat. Okay, yeah, all right. Bring it. Experts. And experts are like scientists, about global warming, about COVID and all that. They are all objective and they're different than we are. They have character. They will never. No. They're not human. They're just scientists. Trust the science. I trust the science, but not the scientists. Well, that's me. They have to build trust first, all right? Because in many examples, watch, for instance, or read about Harvard scientists working with their data. There were scientists too, and they work with data, and then they say, and the data was published and used for public policy. Just look into that. And it's one example that I know. I know more than that, but I'm not going to keep you with examples. That's not the point here on this issue. So, and I'm quoting, be careful, my friends. Not a single ballistic target has reached its goal within the capital since early May 2023, end quote. If that's so, I'm glad if the civilians were safe. But, and then you hear, you know what you hear? You hear that Kiev area doesn't have electricity anymore. And you say, why? After an attack. Shrapnel fell after they were hit in the air right above Kiev. I'm expecting these missiles to be hit, 50 kilometers before they reach Kiev, because they have the range, but no. The shrapnel falls exactly over some power stations. And then we don't have electricity. Now, please, my friends, we're not baboons. They think we are, because most of them are. You don't think so? Well, go around the block halfway. You don't have to go one time. Halfway, and you're going to realize who you are dealing with. And also, you have to go with a luggage of knowledge in order to be able to assess things. Like someone comes and say, hey, what's going on? And you say, oh my God, this guy speaks English. And that's all he knows. If you don't know anything about English, you say, Emily's fluent in English. He said, what's going on? But it's all he knows. But you don't know that. So once you know, let's say English, you can assess how well that person speaks. Grammatically, what's the vocabulary, what's the accent, blah, 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 and so on. So the same with these guys. Anyway, let's move on. More than 20 Kinzhals have targeted Kiev, and all were successfully intercepted. All of them. Okay, well, if you say so, let the baboons, and the baboons will take this. These are the governments that are vassal governments in different states. They will take this as a fact reported by the Ukrainians, which are at of the American military-industrial complex, and they will say, hey, did you see that? What the Ukrainians say? Let's buy Patriot. Don't buy S-400s. They suck. And everybody said, yeah. Jawohl, mein Freund. Do you think I would say something else with an F? Let's see where Zaluzhny is. Whoo, sweaty. This comes from the New Voice of Ukraine. Yesterday I made this video, and this is Valery Zaluzhny heads to UK as newly appointed Ukrainian ambassador. That's exactly what I was waiting for, and I claimed in my videos. I stated all the time, when a new ambassador comes in the country, he goes and he meets the head of state, whomever that might be, and gives his credentials, shakes hands, and he is the new guy. That is common practice. I haven't seen Zaluzhny doing that yet. Probably because he's not alive. I thought that, hey, we'll see. Hold on. All right, it says here, Zaluzhny's appointment as Ukrainian ambassador to the United Kingdom. Excellent. What do we have here? Not much. It's just Zelensky approved Zaluzhny's candidacy for the post of Ukrainian ambassador to the United Kingdom on March 7. The president said that the general has asked for this position himself. Yeah, okay. In June, that's all it's in this article. I'm going to show you all what's in this article, so you don't think I'm BSing here. Let me see if I can hold it. So, and because of this. All right, so we're going to go down. There's Zaluzhny, and that's the whole article right there. You read it on your own, and that's it. Bop, beep, boop, 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 and then kloop, another article, and then the end. So yeah, they tell us that Zaluzhny is heading that way, and we will trust them. Well, skepticism is the mother of knowledge. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.